Okay, Alex Klemmer began her career in radio advertising sales at WMIX in Boston. And before I even do that, I'll introduce you all. Welcome to the 2023 KSU franchising conversations. My name is Jordan Krolick, and I'm your host, as you guys all know. But we do record these for other people. Drawing on sales, business, and entrepreneurial experience, Ms. Klemmer opened CycleBar, the first cycling studio in New England, in 2005. By 2014, she, along with her brother and partner, led the business and growth to the first multi-studio indoor cycling franchise in the country. Ms. Klemmer opened over 120 studios that spread across major markets in the US and Canada, and successfully sold the company to a private equity group in 2017. She received her Bachelor of Arts degree from Denison in Ohio. And most recently, as a breast cancer survivor, she serves on the board of Find the Cause, a nonprofit foundation focused on researching the environmental causes of breast cancer. And so we welcome you to the class, to KSU. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And sorry for the hiccup. I don't know what's going on with our Zoom.
It's all good. I'm just glad it works here. And so I'll be interspersing some of the students' questions along with yours, so the students are going to be ready to be called on. But the best way to start, I've usually found, is to share your personal background and basically how this thing all started.
Okay. Hi guys. Not that I can see you, but thanks for your patience. I started I kind of wanted to break down what happened with our business into two sort of sectors. The first being that my brother and I in 2005 started an indoor cycling studio. Back then it was called Spin. Now they call it indoor cycling. And pretty much the only place you could take a spin class was in a gym. I mean, that was it. It was in gyms. And we came up with the idea of starting it on our own, getting some bikes and seeing if maybe this thing could take off. We were not, my brother had a full-time job in the publishing business. I was a stay-at-home mom. This was kind of a sort of fun on the side type of sort of throwing something up and seeing if it was going to actually spin, and thought it was really fun. And so in 2005, we said, let's put a business plan together. And we each put in $25,000 and found a space in the town where we live that we rented. And we ended up, buying 15 bikes and painting them. My kids helped me paint the walls of the place, and we started our little business. Just to give you guys perspective, in 2005, there was no such thing as an iPhone. So things like signing up on an app, none of that even existed. In fact, most boutique fitness, most of the boutique fitness sort of concepts didn't even exist. Pretty much there were yoga studios and big box gyms. But we thought, let's try and give it a shot. Spinning was kind of becoming interesting. There was no such thing as Soul Cycle or Flywheel. So we did it. And people signed up for classes by calling on a landline. You guys are all probably too young to even know what that is. We used a landline and an answering machine, and people would call up, and I would call the answering machine 20 times a day to find out who was signing up for classes. People will come into our studio and sign in on a clipboard. And I had a little box for the money that you would put your money in or your check in. We didn't take credit cards. It was really, a real mom and pop shop. It was from the grassroots. We ended up becoming profitable in our first year. And for the 10 years subsequent, we were more profitable every single year. And we had this amazing community, amazing love for, being at the studio, friendships. We hired instructors. We learned so much of the business on the fly, but was, the best for the business, learned, made mistakes, and kept going. And so that lasted for about 10 years. And in basically 2015, this is where the franchising part comes in. We were approached by a franchise development company. And they, at this point in time now, SoulCycle existed, Flywheel existed, boutique fitness was probably the fastest growing sector in the franchising world. I'm sure, or maybe you don't know, but there's sort of food is one side of franchising, and then the other side of franchising tends to be everything else. And there's a lot of food franchises, but the whole boutique fitness world franchising concept was just starting to come into play. And so we were approached by a franchise development firm who had done some research and realized that no one had done it yet. And they went around to small little boutique cycling studios all over the country. They needed one that had some legs to it, that had profitability, that looked good on paper, so that they could come up with this concept and then sell it to other people. And that was us. 10 years of profitability. We started in the first year, probably $80,000 to $100,000 in revenue, $10,000 to $20,000 in profit. And by 2016, our revenues were almost $1 million. We were making $450,000 in profit. So on paper, we looked amazing, and it looked like something that somebody would want to go after and duplicate. And so that's the beginning of my story, and sort of where the franchising came in. I'm just going to pause to see if you have any questions or how much further you want me to go.
No, that's great. And Bryce, you had a question that you wanted to share that I think dovetails into this section.
I feel like she almost kind of answered the question in her last segment there. My question was going to be, like when you were going to start CycleBar, I was wondering if you were considering any other franchise ideas or anything like that. Like if you had any other, like if you had to choose between different ideas, but it seems like you just kind of slid into it because it was like a passion project on the side while you were kind of being mom. And
I can tell you that one of the things that we figured out, and people have asked us, and we've done a lot of these talks around, what we learned was that whatever concept that you have, which is our concept in this case, was spin, and it wasn't, people say, oh, did you have a passion for spinning? No, I wasn't really a big spinner. What I did was I realized that in the spin that I had done, and what I wanted to do was build a community. And one of the things that we quickly found out with the spin business is so much of it is about community. It's not a transactional type of business. If you're looking to franchise a laundromat, that's more of a transactional type of business. I wanted more of a feel good, love what I do, partake in it, and that type of business. So when we started it, it was really because we thought it would be amazing. We thought it would be fun. And our initial investment was not so much that we were breaking the bank. And so that if it failed, that wasn't the case. And we ended up finding a recipe for success, which really was that my brother and I were very involved in the business. We were face-fronting owners. We were day-to-day. We were day-to-day at the business. We kind of broke up our responsibilities, and I tended to be more of the face of the business and hiring instructors and making sure that everything from how the studio was run, who was what the front desk looked like, how getting the people in to clean the towels, the whole 9 yards was more of my job. My brother had a full-time job at the time, so he sort of did the back end, more financial stuff. So it was a great partnership in that way. There is no way we would have been successful like we were if we had not been interactive, front-facing managers. Our success, especially in doing something like this, what I would call almost more the service business, was that people became to know us, love us, make friends with each other. And that's what was sort of our recipe for success, if you will.
William, you had,
What I was wondering was, did you have any fears when you were first starting CycleBar? And if so, what did you do to overcome those fears?
Well, I did. I had fears of failure, to be honest. And so did my brother, because at that time, we were worried that, of the whole thing failing. And we were in a commitment we had a lease. We were leasing our bikes. I had instructors that I was, employing, although they weren't employers, they were independent contractors. But I had, sunk costs that, I was definitely concerned about that. And with any concept that you're thinking of, there's definite risks in all of it. And the first thing again that comes to me is the finances. And so those are the kinds of things that you've got to make sure you have a good business plan in place. You've got to make sure that you're adaptable and open to change, and understanding that if some things don't work, even though it's sort of the way you kind of figured it might work, that sometimes you've got to shift and pivot and take on some new thoughts and ideas to try to make it successful. So that was, there's no question. There's anytime you drop the money, the time, and put your efforts into something like that, there's definitely risks of failure. And it's getting, the more knowledge you have, the more confident you become.
that makes sense.
Actually, I wanted to ask, because you started the business in 2005, I was going to ask, how did the 2008 recession affect you guys, since you guys were such a young business?
Oh, that's a great question. I'll tell you why, because there's another thing. Talk about risk, worrying about failure. Ironically, in 2008 and 2009, during the downturn, what a lot of people were doing to cut costs were looking at monthly nuts. So for instance, in our situation, it would have been a monthly gym membership would have been our competition. And we at the time had a pay per ride system. So you could literally come in, pay, and never go back. You could come in, work out, and come back in 2 weeks when you were feeling like, okay, I'm going to spend the money, the $15 to come in and pay again. And so we were profitable in 08, 09, and in 07 was good. 08 was better. 09 was even better. 10 was even better. I mean, it was crazy. And our model was such that people were spending what they wanted when they wanted, rather than something hitting their bank account every month. Like you guys, I'm sure, are all familiar what happens with everything from your Apple TV membership to your gym memberships. And so people had control over when they wanted to come in. And then the second side of it is that fitness was a lot of people's salvation during 08 and 09. And because, the hit was 15 or 20 bucks when they came in, it wasn't breaking the bank. So we were very lucky. And lastly, I talk about community because we had such an amazing community. Part of that was that coming into our studio was like your recipe for, it was your therapy, and commiserating and playing loud music. It almost felt like you were coming to a party every day, and it was sort of the upside of your day in 08 and 09 when you came to the studio. So that was super helpful. I just want to really quickly have you guys understand when so in 15, there's a franchise development company that was based out of Cincinnati, Ohio. Like I said, that had realized that they were onto something when they realized that SoulCycle and Flywheel were these huge corporate entities, and they were owned by huge companies. And so all of the locations were run by managers, but they had one corporate office in New York, or they each had corporate offices in New York. The beauty behind CycleBar in this concept was we were giving people an opportunity to become entrepreneurs, because what we're doing is turning around, explaining our concept and helping them become entrepreneurs and owners of their own businesses. So not only were we offering people an opportunity to own their own businesses, but we were also helping them along the way. It wasn't blind. And so I'm sure you have learned, and you are going to continue to learn, this whole idea of franchising. It's scary, and it's costs a lot, and there's a lot involved. We could not have done it on our own without the help of these people that were a franchise development firm. And what the partnership was that they knew how to franchise, but they didn't know anything about the spin industry. We knew everything about the indoor cycling industry. So they said, all right, no one's done this. We know how to franchise. We're going to take a risk with this concept. Can you show us the way? And so that's where that partnership came. So we ended up creating our own brand. They are the ones, quite frankly, the franchise development firm that put all the money into creating the brand. They put the money into hiring the marketing people, and the whole sign-up system and constant contact and getting our website done. But they couldn't do any of that without us, because we knew what we were doing in the cycling world. So that's where that happened. And within 2 years, we had sold over 200 franchises, and 125 of them were open. So it happened fast and furiously. My brother and I flew to Cincinnati every other week for 2 years and sat in these offices and developed the concept, came up with everything there was behind, who and what we were as a brand, and then went out and did discovery days, and people came and learned all about who and what we were and started buying franchises. Our franchise cost was $49,000 and to buy in. And then with that, as I'm sure all of you know, we basically helped them and gave them, we wrote the playbook and helped these people own their own businesses and help them come to fruition. Usually the build outs and the whole launch took anywhere from a year to 18 months. And they are, now there were 120 when we sold it to the private equity firm. There was 120 open. Now there's over 200 of them open.
All from the one store. And it's funny. Yeah, and it's funny, and we'll talk about this maybe next class, but you see a business, everybody talks about recurring revenues. We'll talk, if you don't know what that means, as she said, it was like the Apple contracts, and that's how you got to grow a business. There's a business that grew the other way. Great businesses break paradigms. Everybody says this is the way you should do it. There's a reason, but everybody's doing it that way, so let's do it a different way. And some of that was the time, but some of that was the success here. I want to go to Emily. Your questions were really interesting. And again, just so you know, Alex, I have all the class submits questions prior to this, so that's why I know some of which.
Oh, okay.
So I wanted to know how CycleBar was attempting to differentiate itself from other franchising opportunities in the marketplace, like Prevelo.
Like who?
I think it's Prevelo.
I don't know that.
They had franchises in Auburn. I've been there, but
Welcome to the South. But how does CycleBar differentiate itself from the other once you got into the franchise game? Now you're.
Well,
in a different business.
Well, to be honest, the way, and it's all based on what your concept is. And there were no other, first of all, there were no other franchised indoor cycling businesses when we started. And some people confuse franchised versus, owned. And even a lot of, some places might have, like there's one up where we are now in Boston called Revved. And they started with, a single studio at the same time we did. And then the same people opened 4 other ones and they're all Revved, but they're not franchises. They have 4 studios that are all open and the same people own all of them. And, but in any event, really for us, not compared to people would say, how do you differentiate yourself from a Soul Cycle or a Flywheel or a Revved? And so much of it is about the product that you put out. And in our case, there we were very, very conscious about making people feel comfortable no matter who and what they are, how old, how young, what their fitness level was, making them feel comfortable to be part of our community. There's other concepts that are very intimidating. Soul Cycle was a very intimidating concept in our industry. And it was tough because a lot of people felt that they had to be skinny and pretty and rich in order, you had to have the means in order to be able to ride in their studios. And we had a more all-encompassing, more of a communal type of atmosphere. It was more of a familial type of community. And we ended up doing some things to separate ourselves. We started a concept called Cycle Giving, and we created this opportunity for people to come to our studios, rent out the studio for free, and bring people in to raise money for a charity or a nonprofit of their liking, and or something that they were passionate about. So, for instance, the breast cancer nonprofit that I'm involved in right now and I'm on a board, they came and did a fundraiser at our studio. And that's how I learned about them. But they were coming in, bringing their people in and having people donate to ride to raise money for their cause. And that was a completely new concept. Nobody was doing that. And so that was a big differentiator. We used to, and we, so it really showed that we cared about the people in the marketplace. We cared about people, giving back to others. And so cycle giving was a huge concept that I think definitely differentiated us.
So I'm going to open up to the class for the last couple of questions, and then I have one that'll finish it off. But does anybody else have any questions for Alex?
What made you all?
Name?
Hello, my name is Brianna. What made you all decide to sell the company?
Oh, good question. We had no intention of selling the company, but a private equity firm approached us, and I was feeling like we might have been, it was a little premature initially, and I kind of didn't want to. And this private equity firm saw what we had and said they wanted to get in at the early stage, because typically you would not be approached after 2.5 years by a private equity firm to buy something like this. They it still is relatively green in that world. But my brother's 3 or 4 years older than I am. And, he was kind of saying, listen, we have an opportunity to the old saying, there's a bird in the hand and two in the bush. Well, we had one in the hand. And even though I thought we could have stuck it out for 3, 4, 5 more years and grow it even bigger. It was decided that it was an opportunity we couldn't pass up. And it was a really nice opportunity for all of us who had shares in the company. And in the end, believe it or not, what happened 2 years later, COVID hit. And a lot of these places didn't do so well. And as sad as I am still for a lot of our studios that really suffered during that time, we had already exited. And so we were very lucky. But it was a tough decision. And we got lucky in the end. And that's all I can say. We got lucky.
My last question is, and thank you so much for your time. I know we had some technical challenges to get us going, but I think it was absolutely worth it. So my last question is, you're talking to a group of 15 or so, 20 seniors who are, some have jobs, some are figuring out what's next. What advice would you give them?
Well, from the standpoint of if you all are going in the direction of wanting to become entrepreneurs, owning your own companies, doing what I did, my advice in that arena is you got to make sure that your concept, you have a love for your concept, a really good business plan, and you got to make sure that you execute it, for as long as you can to make it, worth wanting to take it to the next step, which would be either opening multiple locations or franchising it. But I would say that so many people think that it's a simple process, and it's really not. And despite how simple the concept was of getting on a bike and getting people to ride in a cycling class, how difficult can it be? But there's a lot to all of these things. So I would say make sure that you have a good business plan, and then don't try and exit too quickly from the standpoint of franchising, because it's gotta be a solid concept before you can franchise it. I have 3 children who have all been in your position. 2 of them are, which is how Jordan met my son and me, and are in the entrepreneurship world and have gone off and worked for startups. And it's very risky in some ways, but it's how you get your legs about you. It's knowing where and where your passions lie. My younger son has learned after working for 3 startups that he really likes the product management end of things, but he didn't know that until he got into it. So there's, I would say, dip your toe in, try to find something that you think is interesting. But I'm so cautious of using the word passionate, because being passionate about something, in my opinion, there's a few lucky people who are passionate about something. If you're passionate enough about playing the violin, or passionate enough about being a doctor or whatever, but I wasn't passionate about, becoming a spin instructor. And Woody, my son, isn't passionate about artificial intelligence and the the insurance industry. It's more finding what in the whole concept of thing kind of rocks your boat. What gets you excited about the big picture and things? Because if you're trying at your age to pinpoint exactly what you want to do, it's tough. Most of you guys don't know. I didn't know. I got into sales and I loved it. and ended up starting a franchise and running a spin business. So dip your toe in, go with where your heart feels good, but don't beat yourselves up if you don't have an answer tomorrow about what your goal for the rest of your life is, because you're going to probably have 2 or 3 jobs before you land on the thing that, makes you most excited. That's what I would say.
That's awesome advice, Alex. I can't thank you enough for your time. I know the class can't thank you enough. And we really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, I apologize for being late. And if anyone has any further questions, Jordan, you can give him my email.
I will.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
See ya. Okay.
Okay, be well. Have a
Bye-bye.
great day.
Thank
Okay,
you.
bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.